Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Tom Sherry.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney is off tonight.
Flew towards my room, and he ran out of bullets just outside of my door. In fact, I know that he tried to shoot Emma a second time as she was entering my room.
4 years ago, a 15-year-old Freeman High School student shot and killed a classmate and wounded 3 others. Caleb Sharp has since pleaded guilty to murder.
Well, this week, the Freeman community continues sharing on how that day impacted their lives. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley shares how one teacher helped one of the injured students in his classroom.
Yeah, Mark and Tom, there this morning, a Freeman High School teacher told the judge what he witnessed just moments after the first gunshots were fired on the second floor hallway. Marty Jessett taught geometry at Freeman, and he says he heard several loud pops, then the thunder of student footsteps and screaming. He secured his classroom with several students, including Emma Neese, one of the students who was shot. He was initially calm because he was in shock, but Jessett explained reality began to set in when a student in the classroom alerted him to Emma's gunshot wound.
I literally reached for a Band-Aid from my desk to put on her gunshot wound. Too small, I thought to myself. I found athletic tape in my cupboard and bandaged the wound on her belly. I put a big X over the wound. Then Ellie's voice from behind me. "Mr. Jessett, don't you think you should call 911?
Now, he told the judge he focused on trying to keep his students safe, but in the back of his mind, he couldn't help but think they were sitting ducks if the shooter came to his room. Now, days later, when teachers and staff returned to school at Freeman High School, that teacher said his classroom looked like a time capsule frozen in time from that day. I'll share more on this and what he had to say about the weeks following the shooting tonight at 5. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Well, today the judge also heard from family members of Jordan Goldsmith. She's one of the 3 students who was shot at Freeman High School. One of her grandparents shared how that tragic day has impacted their family.
That day has changed all of us. I have seen it take its toll on Travis and Liz, JC and Tanner too. Doug and I have become overly emotional. Sometimes something little will trigger it and the tears will flow. I never used to be that way.
She told the judge that she will relive the horror of that day for the rest of her life, which is why she asked the judge to sentence the shooter to life in prison.
During yesterday's victim impact statements, we heard from Sam Strahan's aunt. Sam confronted the shooter on the second floor hallway, and that's when Caleb Sharp pulled out that handgun and shot and killed Sam. In her statement, Sam's aunt told the judge about a tattoo that she got in honor of her nephew.
Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friend. John 15:13. That is what Sam did, and I have it tattooed on my wrist. I find myself rubbing it when I think of him.
His aunt told the judge when she got the news about Sam, the room started spinning. She says Sam was always a great kid and brought a great sense of humor to family gatherings. In her statement, she told the judge how painful it is to see the shooter grow up, but not Sam. All right, let's switch gears.
Day.
My goodness, 4 years ago, right?
Oh, man.
Let's transition and talk weather, Tom, because today it was, it looked nice outside, but it's pretty cold, and you're saying tomorrow morning especially.
Yeah, I think some areas are going to get down into the single digits overnight. It was nice to see some of that blue sky and sunshine that happened later this afternoon, but it was chilly in the overnight hours. We're still below freezing at 31 degrees. You can see the wind is out of the west-southwest right now at 11 miles per hour. When we take a look at the Doppler radar, we've got a little bit of snow that is still occurring across the panhandle of Idaho, and also as you get down into southeastern Washington and kind of down in the Pullman and Moscow area. So the Palouse of both Washington and Idaho seeing some light snow at this time. So it was nice for us to get a little bit of sun. Mark, there it is right there. Overnight lows down to about 11 tonight. We'll look for a high tomorrow of about 27 degrees. Mostly sunny skies, or I should say partly cloudy skies. But then we'll look for snow showers to develop by tomorrow night. So lots of different kind of weather headed our way. We're back to seasonal temperatures for the most part over the weekend. Should be mostly dry. I'll have a look at your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Sounds good, Tom. Thank you very much. Last night, the Spokane City Council voted 5-2 to censure Councilmember Jonathan Bingle, and that came after he refused to wear a mask at times while inside City Hall. The council said the censure came because Bingle was refusing to follow the law. This has led some people to ask what else can happen to a council member as far as discipline goes. Well, according to rules adopted just last year, the council can censure or remove other council members from committees and commissions. But Council President Brienne Begg said their power stops there.
City Council doesn't have a lot of tools if a council member is breaking the law. But one of the tools we have is something called censure, not to be confused with censor. We don't have the ability to keep a council member for speaking or advocating for their positions. And we don't have the ability to remove a council member from office.
Coming up at 5 and 6 o'clock tonight, we'll explain if the mayor's office can enforce any rules at City Hall for elected officials.
Well, it is hard to believe that something as big as 60 feet could be a secret for almost 100 years, but it happened in Okanagan.
Everybody was, I've been there, I saw that, I shopped there as a kid, I went to the House of Draperies, I owned the House of Draperies.
We spoke with the new owners of this huge mural, this piece of history. We'll talk to them next.